And welcome to the Art of Creation show. I'm your host, Rebecca Boswell, and today I am joined by the amazing Patty Alfonso. She is the body catalyst. She's also the creator of pole consciousness for dancing, pole dancing for consciousness, and is a facilitator of ease, joy, magic, and all kinds of other energies that she loves to play with. So I'm really excited to be here today. Of course, we in the show, we look at how choice creates, and different possibilities for creating a life and a living that can actually work for you, whatever that is. So as always, eat the fish, spit out the bones. Hopefully you'll find a lot of fish here today, and some different possibilities to play with things you may not have ever thought of or even known was possible. So Patty, thank you for being here with us on our topic, what does your body love? And what would it take to leave this episode with a much more expanded space of what it is, to have a body, to play with our body, and to even know what it could be asking for. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to play with you. I love your show. You know I do. I've been a guest before. How does it get better? So thank you for having me on again. And this is by far one of my favorite topics. And I was pondering, we spend a lot of time, not only just in general in this world, but we spend a lot of time trying to love our bodies and to, have a better relationship with your body and, get out of judgment of your body and stop projecting on your body. And there's all of these messages that we get in the media about what bodies are supposed to look like, and just I could go on and on. Yeah. And as I was looking at that topic, and I thought, what if we flipped it, and it isn't about it, and it is about that. And what if finding out what your body loves could make it easier for you to love on your body? Yeah. And that's kind of what I've been playing with a lot in the last, forever. This is my favorite topic. So I've played with it in many different ways. And developing that communion with your body, that relationship with your body. If you really looked at, okay, what would my body love about this? What does my body love? How does my body love to move? What does my body love to eat? What does my body love to wear? And what if being in that space with your body could actually contribute easier, right? More joyfully and with more glory to create that communion with your body.
Yeah. I mean, relationships with people, one of the things that I've really recognized over the years is how often we attempt to love people the way that we want to love them without actually taking into account whether or not it's an honoring to them, if it has anything to do with them and how they would like to be received and honored and acknowledged. And it's that same thing with our bodies of are we thinking what we should do to be nice to our bodies or to love our bodies, whatever that is, or are we actually getting input from the body to say, oh, well, I'm going to love you, body, so I'm going to, do this face mask. Right. The body may actually not love a face mask. Your body might want to go play racquetball. I mean, so actually knowing what it is that your body would like to do, or you think I have to do this intense training every day to take care of my body, when actually your body might want to dance or do yoga or climb a tree.
And everything that we've defined about what we're supposed to do with our bodies, whether it is, you're supposed to eat 3 meals a day or 6 meals a day, or you're supposed to snack, or you're supposed to work out for 20 minutes every 3 days, and you're supposed to do this. Those are all definitions that other people have come up with on how you're supposed to be with your body. And none of them really truly include your body, and our bodies, they definitely have preferences on what it is that they enjoy and what it is that they like and what turns them on and makes them happy. And I always like to use the analogy, like you brought in, relationships and like having a friend. Imagine if you had a friend that was constantly telling you what to do. This is what we're going to do today. This is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to eat. This is who we're going to have sex with. This is how we're going to enjoy ourselves. And then your friend didn't include you at all in any of those choices. You know, would you still be friends with that person? Would you still want to hang out with them? I know that I wouldn't. I certainly don't like to be told what to do all the time without being consulted at all on what would be enjoyable.
Yeah. And of course, there's also, you know, you could even take it a step further. You know, if you had a friend that was always bad mouthing you, or always telling you how awful you were, or how ugly you were, or how fat you were, or how wrong you were, how you could never get this right or that right, or fit into this. How long would you stick around?
Not very long. And you know what? When I look at that and I acknowledge that my body is still with me, I'm still alive. This body is still breathing. It's like, wow, I've been awful to you for most of my life. I've ignored you. I've set you aside. I haven't included you, and you're still here with me. First of all, thank you, because we woke up this morning, you know, and everything works without me having to do anything. Like, now that is a companion that should be honored and treated with regard and with kindness and with gratitude. And so what can you do today? Everyone watching in the future, what can you do today to honor your body? What questions could you ask that would give you the sense of what your body would like to do today, the sense of what your body loves? And when you cultivate that energy with your body, then your body gifts back to you. With sensations, with joy, with pleasure, with excitement. Like, if you allow your body to play with you in your life, then that will create an energy that is way more fun than this is what I think we should do today, body.
Well, you know, having a playmate show up instead of just a dictator. We had Dr. Andrew Gardella, who you know very well, on 2 weeks ago, I think 2 episodes ago, and we kept coming back to ask your body, ask your body, ask your body. And so, you know, we did talk in that episode a bit about what does that even look like? You know, a little bit about what some of the ways that can work. When you just said, you know, ask questions, ask your body questions. So for somebody who is new to this idea, you know, what are some of those questions? You know, if you are looking to ask your body, what would you like? Ask your body, you know, to contribute to the choice that you're making next. What are some of the questions that you're using that people watching could start playing with, even if they've never even thought to consider their body as something different than just, you know, the thing that we drive around with our brain?
You know, for people, and even for people that have been doing this for a long time, look, this is an invitation to a different way of being with your body. So even if you've been doing this for a long time, starting with anything and everything that has to do with your body, everything. The clothes that you wear, the food that you eat, the car that you're driving, the house that you're living in, all of that. Hey, body, what would be fun for you? Body, what would you like? You know, what would you like to wear? Like, get up in the morning and stand in front of your closet and ask your body, what would you like to wear today? And allow your body to inform you. Now, what does that look like? So if I stand in front of my closet and I'm like, oh, I want to wear this, and I put it on and I'm just like, okay, you know. But if I stand in front of my closet and I ask my body, what would you like to wear? And I put something on and my body expands and lightens, and I get this sense of just like total joy and excitement, and I'm ready to like take on the world, right? So if it's light and expansive, go there. If it's heavy and a contraction and kind of like, then maybe don't go there. So with your clothes, with what you would like to eat, so body, what would you like to eat today? When you go to a restaurant and you're looking at the menu, what always happens with me and my body is that there's only one thing that I can see on the menu. Like, I'll read, but there's only one thing that pops out of the menu. That's just like this. Oh, okay. And again, if it's light and expansive, follow that energy. And if it's heavy in a contraction, then don't follow that energy. And then if you want to take it even a step further than that, right? These are basics. What do you want to wear? What do you want to eat? But if you want to go further than that, you can start asking your body, like, body, what would it look like, or what would it be like to trust you?
Yeah.
Can you show me? Body, what would it be like to honor you? Can you show me what that would be like? And starting to really dive into what are the things that your body desires and requires. For example, for me personally, one of the things that is super generative and nurturing for me and for my body is soft, gentle touch. My body loves to be caressed, loves to be touched, but softly and gently. And so I started asking my body, right, what would that look like? Soft and gentle touch. What would that be like? And then my body, like, we end up in situations or whatever where I get a taste of different kinds of touch. And so then getting that sense of what is that for your body? For your body. And I ended up like, okay, body, so we don't have a partner at the moment. We still enjoy soft, gentle touch. What can we create so that we can have this for ourselves, even if there's not another person around? And I got the sort of sense of what it would be like to be surrounded by soft, yummy pillows. And so I took all the pillows in my house and I covered myself in these soft pillows. And every time I moved, the pillows like gently caressed my skin. So then I was like, oh, and then I laid in these pillows for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And when I got up, I was so relaxed.
Oh.
My body was so relaxed. I went out and bought one of those big sort of pregnancy pillows, the ones that are a sort of U shape and you can just like cuddle up in them.
Yeah. Cool.
So this is really, really an exploration and an experimentation in what it is that your body loves, what it is that your body requires, what it is that would be a generative contribution to your body, and then playing with, okay, how do we create this for ourselves?
Yeah.
You know, what can we create here? What would this look like? And sometimes it's a compromise, because sometimes your body would like one thing, but you as a being would like something else. So then it's like, okay, I get that you don't want this anymore, but I would really like this. So what can we come up with so that we can both have what we want?
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because when you were talking about, you know, what would it take to trust your body, right? And I really get when you said that there is this sense very often, I see it all the time. And of course I know it from personal experience that, you know, where sometimes we may not either trust ourselves or trust our bodies. And, you know, especially when there's a lot of information coming from the outside. And when we often look to the outside, like thinking, well, we have to find another person to give us what we require. Or, you know, we have to find, like, we can't create that thing because we can only see it as one way. But actually, when you do kind of soften and get away from this idea of there's only one right way, or, you know, opening up that invitation to just play with different things, even if you don't get it right the first time, right?
Yeah.
That we can actually begin through that process to trust, even when we don't come up with the right thing. It doesn't mean that, you know, if we choose something and it shows up a little strange, you know, like if we try the pillows and we're like, oh, this is really awkward. You know, it doesn't mean now I can't trust you, body, because you had that stupid idea. It's like, okay, well, cool, we tried that. That wasn't quite it. What else is there? And, you know, and continuing on this like never ending trajectory, as opposed to like there's an end point. And either we get it right or we can't trust anymore.
Right. And what you're speaking to also, like, sometimes, you know, you have to get a sense of what you don't like so that you can get a sense of what you do like.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I bought the pregnancy pillow thing, and I'm not pregnant, it's not about that. It wasn't quite as soft as the other pillows that I had, you know, wrapped myself around. So I continue to search. I mean, how much fun can you have discovering what would be enjoyable for you and for your body? And if there was no right or wrong, because everything gives you information, everything. That's the whole thing of choice creates. When you choose something, that creates something else. And there you get more information. And there you, from then you can choose again. And then other
Yes.
possibilities show up. And then you can choose again, and you can choose again, and you can choose again. This thing that, like, you know, we have to choose something and stick with it forever. Like, no. And your body is continuously changing.
Yeah.
Continuously changing. Look, when I was little, I did not like mushrooms and olives. Okay. But as an adult, I love, my body loves mushrooms and olives. We are continuously changing, and your body changes as you sleep overnight. So you
Yes.
wake up every morning with a whole new body.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of molecules have shifted and changed while you sleep. So if you could if you do, but if you could wake up with a brand new body every day, with a brand new adventure of creation and play and fun and joy with your body, what would that be like?
Yeah.
And if you allowed the magic that is available with your body to shift and change, then what else would be possible then? If you wake
Yeah.
up with a new body every day, like, and yesterday was not relevant to what's going on today with your body,
Yeah.
then wow.
Yeah. If you hated your body yesterday, or you didn't like what you had created, or whatever was showing up, right? If we don't wake up and then decide that today just has to follow the pattern of yesterday, if we could choose anything, what would that be? I mean, we don't expect to wear the same shoes that we had as a toddler, you know, as we go to college, or you know, as we progress, right? And yet, how many things do we think that we do have to keep the same? I mean, it'd be crazy to think that we had to wear the same. You know, here's your pair of shoes, your shirt, your pair
Right.
of
For the
pants
rest of your
for
life.
your whole life.
That would be so boring.
Well, we would all be naked eventually.
Yeah.
So. Only last a little bit. So yeah, so that thing of, like, really there is always choice. And when, you know, when people come and they say I'm stuck, it's like, well, if we keep choosing, is it actually possible to be stuck, or are we only stuck when we've decided that there are no other choices available?
Yeah. And what pops up when you know, as we're going through this right now, is vulnerability. Being really vulnerable with your body. Now, in this world, vulnerability has somehow been misidentified as weakness. And what we talk about, especially with the tools of access consciousness with vulnerability, is that space of having no walls and no barriers between you. That vulnerability is totally being open to see whatever is there without a point of view, without any kind of judgment, and to be able to shift and change anything that shows up. And so if there's people out there who are like, well, I'm asking my body questions, but I'm not really hearing anything, and I'm not really sure, and I'm not okay. So then I would ask, body, what would it be like? What would it look like to be totally vulnerable with you?
Yeah.
That means there's no walls, there's no barriers. You're willing to actually receive the information that your body is trying to communicate with you. Sometimes we don't want to hear what our bodies are saying.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Because maybe we don't like what it is that they want us to do, you know, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But be willing to at least listen.
Yeah.
To at least be vulnerable with your body, and then you can choose from there.
Yeah.
With no barriers, no points of views, no judgments, nothing. Just be willing to listen. And I think that when we create barriers between ourselves and our body, which can happen, you know, based on whatever your past experiences are with your body. If you're someone who's had a lot of abuse in your life, then you may not really trust your body. You may not trust people around you. You may be a little bit shut off and a little bit like guarded to the world. Then really getting present with your body is even more important in those kinds of situations. So body, what would it be like to be vulnerable with you?
Yeah.
To hear you, to listen to you, to receive from you?
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many times where it's like, body show me. And the body is like, here you go, here you go, here
I'm
you go. And it's like,
trying.
and it's like, well, but not that, not that. Yeah, but
Right.
not that. It's like, no, show me, but not that. It's like,
Yeah, but I don't want that.
yeah, what would it take to actually receive? And so many times when you were saying when you don't have a point of view, and it's like so many times we have this point of view of, it's like, body, tell me what you'd like. It can be anything, right? But if it doesn't actually fit with what you've decided the answer should be, then you can't hear it, because you're going to dismiss everything that doesn't match what you've already decided. And how many times do we do that with people in our lives too? And this is that thing where as we practice this more with ourselves, it's amazing what that can create with our relationships too, and with other bodies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many of us grew up with that message? You can do anything you like except that.
Except that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So anywhere you're trying to mimic anyone in your family, right? That particular way of being or that particular point of view, can we change that now? And really be open to everything and anything that shows up. I have found, not only personally, but with my clients and in my classes and everything, that when you include your body, truly include your body, let go of what you think should be going on, let go of what you think, right? Think, and I'm using that word very specifically. If you truly include your body in your life, everything will expand in a completely unbelievable kind of way.
Yeah.
Your body can actually be such an invitation for the creation of your life, because your body has no judgments, no points of views. Your body wants to be here in this world with you, enjoying the pleasures that are available in this world, and wants
Is
you to
that
come
allowed?
along. Yes, it is in my world.
Just a choice.
Your body like is here with you.
Yeah.
And wants to have fun. And if you allow your body to invite you to that different possibility, your life can expand in ways that you can't ever possibly imagine. And I've seen that again and again and again. And including your body, not just, with what you want to eat and what you want to wear and all of that, but in everything. In everything. It's just, your bodies are just magnificent creatures.
Yeah.
That are here with us and that want to play. So
Yeah.
let's do it,
Yeah. It's funny, even in things that would seem silly, but like involving my body, I realize like in my business where,
Mm-hmm.
my body's like, I don't want to sit here on the computer. But when I
Yep.
actually engage my body, it's happy to do it if I stand at the kitchen counter and work on the
Mm-hmm.
computer. It just doesn't want to be sitting at the desk. Okay, cool. But if I didn't
Right.
ask, I would either force it to just sit there or think it meant I can't do work, right? But there's no question there, right? And it's like, no, actually the body just doesn't want to sit in the office. It's fine to
Yeah.
it's fine to do the other activities that I was doing. It just doesn't want to do it that way. So recognizing that when we're looking at what else is possible, the body would like to contribute to you, and it can share with you, some different possibilities for how it can work for both of you. And we had Rachel Silver on last week, and her topic was joyful possibilities.
Yeah.
And kind of what we were looking at was, being willing to embrace all of you, and
Mm-hmm.
and even the messy taboo parts that, that especially when we are in the female body and living in this lifetime, or really many of the other lifetimes, that there's just a lot of baggage, let's put it that way, around different parts of the body, the uses of those parts of the body, that we even have those parts of the body. Certainly not supposed to talk about it or embrace, that we have any reproductive anything, or that any of what we have could or might be appealing to others. So we talked there. She said, look, she said, I was sexually abused when I was younger and lived the majority of my life from here up. And
Mm-hmm.
when she began to recognize that she could actually embrace energetically, physically, emotionally, on all levels, she could embrace the totality of her body, all of the parts, bits and pieces, that it actually gave her all of her life and all of her living back, much of which she didn't even realize was missing until she began to choose it, and all the joy and all the possibilities that were able to come from that. And I really hear you talking about something very similar. And you mentioned that you're the founder of pole dancing for consciousness, which I absolutely adore, because it's like, wait a minute, what? Just like your podcast, Consciousness is Sexy, right? And it's like, we don't usually hear these things put together. You know, consciousness is supposed to be serious and, you know, maybe borderline spiritual. And, you know, it's like, it shouldn't be that fun. It shouldn't wear red heels. And yet you've chose to play in this area. So I was wondering if you could share, I know you talked a little bit about already, you know, bringing clients in to be able to explore their body with the movement using the pole. But like, can you just share a little bit about, you know, who comes to you for this? And you were mentioning vulnerability. I would think that there is a certain amount of vulnerability, even just to be willing to choose something that traditionally has been very taboo. You know, so can you talk to us a little bit about that adventure and how you've brought that into the world, and, you know, what you invite people to through that part of what you do?
Yeah, gosh, Rachel, I adore her. I just adore her. Her and I have been friends and worked together for many, many years. And she keeps messaging me. She's like, I'm coming to LA for pole dancing for consciousness. I was like, okay. So pole dancing for consciousness is a perfect example of how my body invited me into a whole different level of being. It contributed to my business. My body, right, contributed to my business, contributed to creating something that wasn't in existence before. And basically, pole dancing for consciousness is the marriage, I guess, using that word lightly, of the two things that bring me and my body the most amount of joy. And that is pole dancing, and that is access consciousness, and everything else that I've learned along the way. And it began, you know, I too lived my life from the head up and spent a lot of time just, you know, right here. And in my family, you know, I'm Latin, and I'm Puerto Rican, if you guys didn't know that. And so sexual energy, bodies, you know, all of those things were really, really taboo things in my family, and our bodies were not valued at all. And so as I got older and I started my own personal journey and my own, you know, healing work and all of that, I knew that there was an energy that I was missing, an energy that I wasn't allowing myself to have, but I also didn't really know exactly what that was because I was never allowed to be it, you know? And so when I started pole dancing, I was like, oh, that, you know, including my entire body in my life, allowing myself to, you know, have the sexual energy that is naturally available to our bodies, allowing myself to be that orgasmic energy that is, you know, creative and generative and delicious. And so a lot of, you know, mostly obviously I work with women who have cut off all of the energy from the rest of their bodies. I have had a few men in my classes, and that's been amazing. And right now, pole dancing for consciousness has become a more VIP one-on-one experience with the people that choose it. And I've done it that way. It's a 2-day experience, and I've done it that way because of the sort of sensitivity of what comes up and the vulnerability. And, you know, a lot of people want to choose it, but they don't know if they want to do it in a group, and this is kind of strange. And, you know, all of these projections and judgments
People are going to see
around,
my cellulite.
yeah, all of these projections and judgments come up around the pole and moving that way and allowing yourself to be sensual with yourself, allowing yourself to caress your body, finding out how really it is that your body would like to move in a completely different way. And the thing about pole dancing is that it actually invites the genius of the feminine body to arise. You know, feminine bodies have beautiful, amazing curves, and they move in completely different ways to masculine bodies. You know, feminine bodies have a natural sensitivity, a natural, how do you say, they're just naturally more sensual and alive in different ways than masculine bodies. And this is not to say anything terrible, bad, whatever about masculine bodies, because I loves me some masculine
They
bodies,
just have a
okay?
different
But
line and
they're
a
just
different form of
different.
movement.
Yeah, it's different. And it's really about opening up to enjoying both kinds of bodies. You know, when you find the deliciousness in your own body, then you can have more appreciation for a different body.
Mhm.
And so it's pole dancing for consciousness is most definitely an invitation to a different way of being in the world. And it opens up the space for you to allow yourself and your body to be
Yeah,
any and every energy that's available.
yeah.
From the sweet, innocent, good girl all the way to the fiery, dangerous, challenging, you know,
Vixen,
magnetic. I mean, it
diva.
runs, yeah, it runs the gamut. And what I've been exploring with a lot lately is how the music can actually invite you to that. So we put on a particular piece of music that actually ignites a particular energy in your body, right? And if you allow your body to move with that music the way that your body would move with that music, then all of a sudden that energy is now available to you if you choose it in your everyday life. So
Yes.
the way that we play with the pole opens up the body, and that then trickles into, you know, the rest of your life. So if you're
Yeah.
someone who has a hard time like having your own back or standing up for yourself or having your own voice, all of that is stuff that's locked in and
Yeah.
locked down in your body. And when you bring that into movement, then it frees you in your everyday life. So I could
Yeah.
go on and on about pole dancing for
Yeah.
consciousness, you know?
Yeah, well, and it's awesome because it's, I think it brings up a lot of judgment just
Yeah.
immediately, right? So
Yeah.
even just to be able to choose it, you're already willing to go
Yeah.
past whatever those initial judgments are. And so everywhere that those
Yeah.
initial judgments have been dictating or governing any part of your life, you've already released all of that just by choosing it. And then by
Yes.
going through the 2-day experience, you're
Yes.
opening up all these
Yeah.
other colors that you now get to paint with. You don't
Yeah.
have to choose to use them, and you can. I
Yeah.
That was one of the things that always really struck me about brilliant actors or actresses
Mm.
is
Mm.
this thing where you watch them in different roles and you see them being
Mm-hmm.
such different people, or being such different energies, or showing up in such different ways. And that moment when I recognized, wow, they have to actually be willing to know
Yeah.
what that is and
Yep.
to be that. And anything that I'm not willing to be, I can't even, like, I could never bring that brilliance forward because of an unwillingness to be that. And
Yeah.
and these actors, it's like once they learn what that energy is, and where they can be that in a role, they can choose to be that anywhere in their life. And this is
Mm-hmm.
exactly that exact same thing that you're talking about, where you're really giving people so much more access to
Yeah.
all the ways that they can choose to be. And I mean, how many
Yeah.
more choices do we have, right? If we are feeling stuck, or in that place of I have no choice, suddenly you have all
Yeah.
these other choices, because it's like, okay, who am I being? And
Yeah.
before you were talking about your relatives or people in your life that you may be choosing to act like, or to be like, or to just carry on after. And I love that question, who am I being? And it can be something where it's like, well, actually I'm not being me. And it can also be, who am I being? What would I like to be? Because when you start to see, like, oh, I can actually be that, even if you say, like, oh, it's my alter ego, or oh, that's me when I'm so and so, or that's me when I'm so and so, however you want to play with it, right? um you can. And
well, this is one of the things, one of the sort of main things in Access Consciousness is that we are infinite beings. And as infinite beings, we have the ability to perceive, know, be, and receive everything as an infinite being. So this is also one of those things, like I'm an infinite being and I have a female body. I'm an infinite being and I have a female body. As an infinite being, I can do, be, receive everything, right? But I don't have to define myself by my female body either. I can be bossy, bitchy, kind, generous, if it's required, and the little zing of meanness is what's required to change any situation, I can be that too. I can be soft and sensual, and I can also be hard, and you can be every energy as an infinite being. And that's what we are unlocking with pole dancing for consciousness, is the definitions that you are using to live and create your life that are actually stopping you, and anywhere that you're not allowing yourself to be a particular energy for whatever reason, whether it's because you think it's a female energy or you think it's a male energy, and whatever, it's just all so convoluted in this reality sometimes. But we really truly have the capacity to be everything, and our bodies can contribute to that, and our bodies don't have any points of views about that. And it's funny that you bring up actors, because so I learned, as a student, I'm a student of S Factor here in Los Angeles, and the creator of S Factor is Sheila Kelly. And the way it started for her, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I think, was that she had a part in it. She had written and produced a film where she was going to play a stripper. And she was like, oh, well, I'm a dancer and I can do this and whatever. And when she got up to play this part, she realized that she had no clue how to move her body in that way. And so that's kind of how she's like the mother of pole dancing as fitness. And I just want to acknowledge her and her brilliance, because this stuff didn't exist before she, came in and introduced it into the world. So I play with those tools. I play with the tools of Access Consciousness, with, Tantra and energy work. And I mean, you name it, all of it is available in a pole dancing for consciousness VIP day. And I mean, pole dancing and Access have changed my life dynamically. And the women that have taken, and the men, the two men that have taken the classes when it was a group class, I've seen, how much they've shifted and changed over the years. And I had my friend Catherine McIntosh took a pole dancing class with me many, many years ago. And at the time she had like super short platinum blonde, and she was this like really intense sort of leather jacket. Yeah, leather jacket, And during the class at one point, she was like, oh my God, I'm going to let my hair grow out. Like everything is changing. And now I see her now, and she's softened in such a way. And yet she is still that intense being that she is. So it's not about cutting anything off. It's about being open and available to everything and having everything at your fingertips.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and she, of course, for those of you who are interested, you can check out Catherine McIntosh. She was in season 3, I believe.
Yes.
So you can go and check out her episode too. The pole dancing for consciousness, that has become a VIP experience. But then you also have the Body Love Club. So talk to us about that.
Thank you. Yes. So if you are someone who isn't like totally ready for pole dancing for consciousness and jump in and play with me for 2 days of an immersion into your body, and you'd like to just, exactly. And you'd like to just have a taste of what your body loves, and really diving into and opening up to that topic, and to really exploring with ease, joy, and glory what your body would like, then there's the Body Love Club. It's a 3-month adventure. We meet once a week. It's group work. So there's a lot of other magnificent, wonderful beings there as well. And it's a beginning. It's a beginning to truly stepping into, communion with your body, joy with your body. Like, I love bodies. I love my body. I have so much joy with my body. It's like the number one most important energy in my life in these 10 seconds. And so it is really, truly just a, a, an exploration into the joy of having a body.
Yeah.
And getting to know what your body loves and what contribution your body can be in your life. And so there's a lot of different ways that we can play together, and most of them are around your body and loving your body and enjoying your body and being present with your body and having all energies available with your body.
So are there actually exercises that people will be able to go through? So if people are like, I don't even really know how to start with this, if they choose the 3-month experience, then are they actually doing exercises and things to really sort of build that trust you're talking about, build
Yes.
those muscles of being
Yes.
friends?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
Yes. There's a few things. So the Body Love Club comes with a couple of bonus products, one of them being the Essence of You taster. And that is like a 21-day program that dives into like the elements of sex and the elements of intimacy. And there are exercises that you can do to start, destroying, getting rid of those barriers between you and your body. So, and in addition, like the Body Love Club, we have a facilitation call, but then we also have Facebook deep dive live events where you can get on Facebook with me and ask whatever questions are going on. And there are the energetic awakening of being exercises. And those are some of my favorite because it's this space that we create where we really expand out into that space of being an infinite being and creating and pulling energy and being present from that space. And you get to let me know what it is that you're working on, what it is that you'd like to create, what it is that you'd like to shift and change with your body. And I include all of those energies in that exercise. It's kind of like, I call it like, moving away from thoughts, feelings, and emotions and really stepping into perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving. And it's a maestro symphony session with the tools of access consciousness that we create together as a group. And so those are a lot of fun, and they create a lot of just really yummy space for people to be like, oh, this is what it is to be totally present with my being with no problems, to be totally present with my body from that space of complete lightness. This is what that is. It gives people kind of like a sort of, not a reference point, but a reference point of what it's like to be that space.
Yeah, to be able to perceive it.
Wait a
And
minute.
if you're in this place, like, well, I don't even
really
know.
Me.
Yeah, you can never say that again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you get that sense of what it is to be an infinite being and to be that with your body. And so from that moment on and into the future, there's a place of, okay, this isn't totally light and expansive. I know what that's like, and this isn't that. So what else can I choose?
Yes.
Another
color in the paint box.
Jennifer, my sweet, amazing friend Jennifer, put the link in the chat for the Body Love Club if anyone is interested in looking at that.
Great.
So
yes,
thank you,
we'll
Jennifer.
We'll put the links to everything. So all the ways that you can get in touch with Patty, and any of the ways that you can participate in any of these really amazing programs. So when this is posted to YouTube, you just go down into the show notes below and you'll see all those links so you can have at it. Now, before we close, I haven't even been, so we're getting close to our hour, but before we wrap up, one of the things that I can say very confidently is that when you walk into a room or when your body is somewhere with people or with me, like when I see you, it is very apparent that you have ease with your body. And there is, ease is the word really that is the loudest, but there's like a grace, an elegance, a flow, a very distinct movement and way of being that you are when you move through a space. And I get that all of these things, have contributed to that, and that you really walk through life in communion with your body. Now, have you always? I mean, I know you said you used to prioritize more the thinking in your head, but um, is there actually hope for everyone who doesn't think that that's possible? Like, did you just one day magically wake up this way, but that's only for Patty? Is someone,
No. Oh my
like,
God,
not
no.
me? Is there,
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Thank you so much. And it just, it melts my heart with gratitude. And I'll just acknowledge myself as well, because no, it wasn't always like that. It wasn't like that at all. I mean, my body, I was stiff, numb, when people touched me, I would get like nauseous. I didn't even want people to touch me. I was hiding. I had shoved myself in a box just trying to hide from the world. I didn't dress. I was like a hippie, so I was like bell bottoms and tie-dye t-shirts. And I mean, anything that I could do to hide myself and hide my body, I was choosing it. And I've been doing this work since 2009, and I started this work with myself. And even to this day, I'm not perfect. I know people want to like project that onto me, and that's fine, but I'm not perfect.
that's a relief, Patty.
Sometimes my body will take me shopping and will buy a dress, and I'll be like, really? Okay, I trust you. And I put it on, and sometimes even I have to like, all right, Patty, lower your barriers, get present, and I have to work on it myself sometimes every day. And when I go somewhere and you know, I've worked on that. And I don't mean work like in a difficult kind of way. This can be easy. This can be fun. And that's what I would like to be in gift for anyone who plays with me in my classes and whatever you choose. This doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to suffer through, finding out what's joyful for your body. I had to suffer through it. Like, I put in a lot of work, and it doesn't have to be that way. And so I didn't wake up, one day and just like, boom, I put in the energy and the commitment and the demand of myself, and just the big ask, to really truly be able to show up in the world the way that my body would like to show up, and that I would like to show up. And it isn't always easy. I think I did a nude photo shoot a few years ago, and I still use some of the pictures. And that wasn't me like, I'm going to go do a nude photo shoot because, I'm going to be nude. No, I was like, my body was like, we're doing this. And I was like, okay. And, the willingness to just
Lower
be
those
really
barriers.
present. Yeah. Lower those barriers and be really present with my body, and really invite the world to, that's why I'm referred to as like the body catalyst. It's like an invitation to the world. I feel like I'm a voice for bodies and the beauty of bodies of all shapes and sizes. No, it's not about what you look like. It's not about that at all. I just happen to have created this, which is valued in this reality, but it's not necessarily something that, I've put a lot of value into. Although, I'm using it to create a business because, hey, use it or lose it,
Why not? Yeah, I have a friend, and, she, really just saw herself as, the professional she was, and the mother she was, and the wife she was. And, if you looked in her closet, it was all very kind of beige and gray and black. And, one day she just out of nowhere, I think she saw a Groupon or something, and it was for a boudoir photo shoot. And
Mm.
she
Mm.
went and did this. It was one of the most uncharacteristic things. I mean, literally, if you were going to like have five people and you had to choose, okay, who would choose it? Even if they were all described the same way, like she probably would have been the last one you would choose, and
Right.
whatever that is, and it changed everything. I mean, then you would see her with her husband, and just noticing little different
Mm.
interactions
Mm-hmm.
with them, the way she carried herself, the way she started to change some of the clothing choices she
Yeah.
made. She started adding color. She started wearing lipstick. She was so she we were at a dinner party. She even brought some of those photos and to show everybody. She lost a little bit of weight, not that she needed to, but it just, and not that she was trying to, but it just, her body just started to change. And it was
Yeah.
really neat to see
Yeah.
that it really all just came from this one moment where she didn't
Mm-hmm.
consciously or cognitively say, I'm going to change this, but something whispered. And even though she doesn't do anything with energy, like, anything, but there was just this one moment, and she said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see how that trickled, so it's really cool,
Yeah.
if you can
Yeah.
listen to these kinds of things and say, wow, this just shone a light on
Yeah.
these other things that I can play with. What changes can that create in your life? What ripple effects can that
Yeah.
create in your life starting today, whether it's in public, whether it's just for you, just for fun at home? Um, there really is no limit to what is possible when we choose just a little something different and
Yeah.
follow the crowd.
And yeah, and like what's coming up when you're talking about that is, you know, I was raised to hide my body. And a lot of us, I think, are, cover up and cross your legs and, don't wear that and that's too this and all this stuff, So I was really sort of entrained to hide from a very, very young age.
Yeah.
My family and my dad, and they were all very sort of didn't really know what to do with
Yeah.
all of this energy that I was
Yeah.
being and that I could be. So that's when I really started to just kind of hide and stuff myself
Yeah.
into this little box. And that one photo shoot was just me like honoring my body and like, okay, I'm not going to hide you anymore.
Yeah.
And being able to step into that space of being everything and being the beautiful being and body that you be, no
Yeah.
matter what it looks like, no matter what your age, no matter what your size.
Yeah.
And what a gift that is, not only for yourself and for your body, but for the world.
Yeah.
And allowing yourself to really truly step into that is,
Yeah.
changes everything.
Yeah. If your body wasn't a danger,
Yeah.
if your body was a joy,
And if
how
you
did
had
that
that
change
that
everything?
and if you had that full spectrum of energy available to you, from the innocent good girl to the dangerous, I have my own back, nothing's gonna, I can take care of myself. If you have like the full spectrum of that energy available to you, and you're willing to be aware of everything, you know then nothing is really truly dangerous or a problem. If you're
Yeah.
really truly willing to be all of the energies and include all of the energies. And I mean, I think that we could go on and on
Yeah.
on this
I
particular
know.
topic.
5 hours
There's so many
later.
different ways to go.
I know. Well, I have to just acknowledge, so any of you still watching, um, and those of you watching in the future, getting to the end, making it through the whole show, thank you so much for sticking around,
Yes,
being with us.
thank
I know with a
you.
lot of these videos, people get 5 minutes in or whatever and bail, and so we're really grateful to those of you who stay with us through the whole episode, and really look to see how this can contribute to you and how you can play with the things that we've been talking about. So Patty, is there anything else that you'd like to say or share or invite people to before we close the episode?
Oh man. I'd really love to invite all of you to just get really present with your bodies. and just ask, hey, body, what would be fun for you today? And even if it's for 1 hour or 30 minutes or half a day, to just really spend time with your body as if she or he was your dearest friend, and just see what that would create. What would that create for your life? What would that create for your self-esteem, for your confidence? What would that create for you to just spend at least an hour a day, just you and your body?
Yeah.
What would
You
that be
know,
like?
well, Patty, you just opened up this huge space that, woo,
Yeah.
just the
Yay!
sense, yes, I mean, the sense of like, how often do we,
Not
where we
very.
recognize a little other, yeah, right, like that thing of like always waiting for someone else, right? Like, well, if
Yeah,
someone can go do this thing with me, then I'll go. Or, oh, I'd
right.
love to go go do X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z. I'd love to eat at that place. I'd love to go do this activity. I'd love to explore this, place or travel to this location, whatever. And it's like, well, but I can't find anyone to do it with. And just all of a sudden that space of just really recognizing, right? You are never alone, right?
Mm-mm.
Anywhere that we have ever bought the lie that we are ever or have ever been alone, you always have your body everywhere you
Yeah.
go. And if your body could actually be your best friend, would it ever even be a possibility to be unhappy, to be
Mm-mm.
sad, to be
Trust
lonely,
me, no.
right? So it's just that space of like, man,
Yeah.
everywhere that we've created that separation as though our bodies are not real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that we don't
Or
actually have
important,
that
or
possibility.
that they count, or that they matter in any way. And listen, if this conversation is like a total, like I have no idea what they're talking about, but
Yeah,
it kind of sounds like I'd like to, then check out the Body Love Club.
yeah,
And if at the very least, give yourself that hour a week for you and for your body. If you have no clue where to start and you're just like, I don't know, then come play with us on the Body Love Club, and let's find out, and let's play, and let's see what else is possible with your body that you've never even considered before.
yes. Thank you so much, Patty. Thank you so
Thank
much for being
you.
here today. Thank you to everybody watching. We really appreciate you and all of your support. If you have not liked the Facebook page yet, The Art of Creation, please do so. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so now. Tell your friends. Let us know what else you'd like to see on the show, who you might like us to interview. And as always, happy choosing. And I wonder what we'll
Yay.
discover next. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.